Okay. The goal is, and the theory is, and what I have noticed to be true in my personal situation and some people that I coach one-on-one is that if you can model this stuff consistently and effectively, that it's almost contagious sometimes, right? It almost is contagious. Now, it might not be like overnight, and it might take a year or more, but eventually, it almost gets into a situation where your activity, your outlook, your communication style, it almost becomes contagious. Okay. So keep that in mind. So moving forward, we're going to start with respect. All right. Because that's obviously, you can't have the other ones if there's not at least some level of respect. Okay. Now there are two. Before you want to jump through the screen and slap me in the face when you read that first definition, there are two definitions of respect. The first definition is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Now, let's not kid each other. The chances of this happening is probably slim to none in these situations, okay? Thankfully, there's a second definition of respect, and that's the definition that we are going with. And that's a due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Okay? That's what we need. We need a due regard for the feelings, the wishes, the rights, and the traditions of others. Okay? Screenshot that, write that down, whatever you want to do. That's number one. That's number one. Okay? Now, how can we move towards these? How can we achieve or acquire each of these? So when we're looking at respect, it spells it out in plain English with the due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Okay, it spells it out. But how do we do that? You're thinking we just had a bad relationship. We're writing crazy shit about each other for the courts. Maybe we testified to things, things like that. How do we do that? Well, first off, and I'm huge on this, you seek to understand and appreciate the role of the person. Okay? So with your ex, it's going to be their role as the father or the mother. What is their role? Seek to understand and appreciate that role. If it's the significant other of the ex, you need to try to look at it from their point of view, right? Are they over asserting themselves, or do they just care maybe a little bit too much? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Are they trying to get at you, or are they just trying to defend their significant other? Each of us in these situations has a role that we play. Okay. Obviously, when we're dealing with the mother and the father, those roles, like we get that. You need to understand and appreciate the fact that none of us is perfect. None of us is perfect at it, right? But you need to seek to understand and appreciate it in order to get respect. Next, seek to understand their feelings. Okay? These situations are ridiculously emotional. They can become ridiculously fiery. There can be anger like no one's ever seen. There can be sadness like no one's ever seen. Depression, anxiety, stress, the whole thing. Try to take a step back and understand that that person is also feeling that same stuff. As difficult as it is, as hurtful of things that they may have said to you, and as hurtful of things that they may have done, try to understand the feelings that are involved on their end, because when we are dealing with emotions in these situations, and it can be like fuel on the fire when you mix emotions with children and with ex-lovers and with new lovers and the whole thing. So one of the ways to get respect is to try to understand what that person is feeling and what emotions that they're going through at the time. Okay. Hurt people do hurtful things. That's a rule. It doesn't excuse it, doesn't make it right. But if you can understand it, you're going to almost make yourself bulletproof to it, just by knowing where it's coming from, if that makes sense. I talk a lot about the caring detachment. The caring detachment is another way to be able to focus on the respect factor. What the caring detachment is it's the situation wherein you are now, instead of a lover or significant other or in a romantic relationship, you are now the ex, or they are now the ex. So there's a caring detachment. And what it does is it causes incongruence or confusion that causes conflict and stress and anxiety and everything else, because it's hard to decipher the fact that we don't have to care for and care about at the same time. Right? We can care about, but not care for. Okay? It's completely fine. And it's completely fine for the other party to care about you, but not to care for you. If that makes sense. Now you need to understand, while you're watching this, everybody watching this is in a different situation than the next person. So the words that I'm saying might not hold true 100% to you, but you got to at least try to understand and appreciate where I'm coming from, because it's going to help you in the long run. Okay. Let me just mute that. Okay. So the caring detachment. The next one is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the quickest ways to be able to find respect for someone. Now you're probably thinking, how the hell am I supposed to be grateful for my ex? Even worse, how the hell am I supposed to be grateful for my ex's new fling? Right? The short answer is to get this, to make yourself feel better and to get this done the right way and to eliminate chaos, you have to. You have to. It's the quickest way to respect. And the way that you can do it is literally rack your brain and think of things that you can be grateful for. You know, maybe you hate their guts, but you're grateful that they are a good dad or a good mom. Maybe you hate their guts and they're not the best dad or the best mom, but maybe you know for a fact that they love the shit out of your kids. Right? And you can be grateful for that. Or maybe, you know, you can be grateful that they're not abusive. You know, maybe they're a derelict and they hate you and they're mean to you, but maybe they've never been abusive. They're not abusive to the children. There's always something to be grateful for in any situation. Okay? There's always a silver lining. And if you can find a silver lining and learn to be grateful for it and learn to basically rehash it in your brain, it's going to make things a lot easier for you. And it's going to get you to be able to respect that person or people a lot quicker. And the next way is to separate your ego. This is not about you. My situation, my divorce and custody situation, while I thought it was about me when I first started, it was not about me. Getting credit for things as a parent, it's not about me. You know, our kids maybe not seeing something that you did, but seeing something great that the other side did. It's not about you. Okay. The bottom line, this is about them, and we need to separate our ego from the mix. And I have, there's more information in the rest of the program about that. Okay. And then finally, eliminating the need to be right. Okay. Now this may sound like, you know, I'm focusing on you guys and attacking you guys, and I'm certainly not doing that. But the only thing that I can do is to teach you guys the things that do and the things that work and the things that have worked for me and have worked for other clients and other people, and let you do with it what you want. But we don't need to be right. As parents, we don't need to be right. We don't need to be the first person who suggested something that worked. We don't need to be the one who came up with the idea. We don't need to. And as soon as you can eliminate that need, things are going to get a lot easier for you. Life's going to get a lot easier for you. Okay. That actually works in relationships too. You know, current relationships. Okay. But we can talk about that on another day.